Have you ever wondered why the rich seem to get richer almost effortlessly, while most of us are stuck on a hamster wheel, trading our precious time for a paycheck? It's a frustrating cycle, isn't it? You work hard, you get paid, you pay your bills, and the cycle repeats. What if I told you there's a fundamental difference in mindset, a secret that separates the wealthy from everyone else? It's this: the rich don't work for money. Now, that might sound absurd. Of course they need money, right? But here's the twist. They do work for it in the way most people do. Okay, instead, they make money work for them. This isn't just a clever phrase. It's the cornerstone of wealth creation. While the average person's financial strategy is focused on earning a salary, the wealthy focus on acquiring assets. This single shift in perspective is what changes the entire game. So, what exactly is an asset? In the simplest terms, as defined by Robert Kiyosaki in his game-changing book Rich Dad Poor Dad, an asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. A liability, on the other hand, is anything that takes money out of your pocket. It's a beautifully simple concept, but it's incredibly powerful. Let's break this down. For most people, their biggest liability, ironically, is often what they consider their biggest asset: their home. Youth have a mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance costs. Money is constantly flowing out. A car is another perfect example. The moment you drive it off the lot, it's losing value, and it costs you money in fuel, insurance, and repairs. These are liabilities. The wealthy, however, focus their energy on acquiring true assets. These are things that generate income for them, whether they are actively working or not. Think about it. Rental properties that bring in monthly rent checks, stocks that pay dividends. A business that runs on a system and generates profit without your constant hands-on involvement. Royalties from a book or a song. These are assets. They are little money-making machines that work for you 24/7, even while you sleep. This is the escape route from the rat race. The goal isn't just to have a high-paying job. The goal is to build a portfolio of assets whose income is greater than your expenses. When your assets generate enough passive income to cover your lifestyle, you are financially free. You are no longer dependent on a job. You have broken the cycle of working for money. Your time becomes your own again. So, how do the rich do this? It starts with financial education. Something, unfortunately, that isn't taught in most schools. The wealthy teach their children about money from a young age. They talk about investing, about assets versus liabilities, about risk management. They understand that financial intelligence is more valuable than just academic intelligence. You can be a brilliant doctor or lawyer, but if you don't know how to manage your money, you can still end up struggling financially. The first step is to pay yourself first. This is a classic rule from the richest man in Babylon. Before you pay your rent, your car payment, or even buy groceries, you take a portion of your income, say 10%, and you put it aside for investing. This isn't saving for a rainy day. This is your asset building fund. It's a non-negotiable expense you pay to your future self. It forces you to live on the remaining 90% and prioritizes building your wealth engine. Now, what do you do with this fund? This is where the learning comes in. The wealthy don't just throw their money at random things. They invest their time in understanding different asset classes. Maybe you start with what you know. If you love real estate, you could start learning about rental properties, REITs, or even house hacking. If you're fascinated by the stock market, you could start by investing in low-cost index funds or ETFs, which give you broad market exposure without having to be an expert stock picker. The key is to start small, but start now. Don't be intimidated. You don't need a huge amount of capital to begin. You can buy fractional shares of stocks for as little as $1. The power of compound interest is your best friend here. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. Money that you invest earns returns, and those returns then earn their own returns. Over time, this creates a snowball effect that can turn a small, consistent investment into a substantial fortune. Another crucial strategy the rich use is leverage. They use other people's money, OPM, and other people's time, to accelerate their wealth. When they buy a rental property, they don't usually pay for it all in cash. They get a mortgage from a bank that's using OP. Tenant's rent then pays for that mortgage and other expenses, while the property appreciates in value. When they build a business, they hire talented people to handle operations, marketing, and sales. That's using Opt. They build systems so the business can grow beyond their own personal efforts. They understand they cannot do it all themselves. This brings us back to the core idea. They are not trading their time for money. They are building and buying systems that generate money. A job is not a system you own. You are part of someone else's system. When you stop working, the money stops. When you own the asset, the business, the property, the stock portfolio, the money keeps flowing. Think of it like planting a tree versus fetching water from a well. Most people spend their lives fetching buckets of water. It's tiring work, and if they stop, they have no water. Rich spend their time planting a seed, nurturing it, and letting it grow into a fruit tree. It takes effort up front, but eventually, the tree produces fruit year after year with minimal effort. Their assets are the fruit trees. So, what can you do, starting today, to adopt this mindset? First, change how you view your income. Don't just see it as money to spend. See every dollar as a seed, a potential worker you can send out into the world to make more money for you. Second, commit to financial education. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos like this one. Understand the language of money. Third, start tracking your finances. Know exactly where your money is going. Identify your liabilities and start thinking about how to reduce them. Finally, start your Pay Yourself First plan, no matter how small. Open a brokerage account and start putting money into your asset column. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-smart strategy. It requires discipline, patience, and a willingness to learn and adapt. The journey from working for money to having money work for you is a marathon, not a sprint. But it's a journey that leads to true freedom, the freedom to choose how you spend your time, the freedom to pursue your passions, and the freedom from financial anxiety. That is the real wealth the rich are after, and it's a goal that is achievable for anyone willing to change their mindset. Thank you so much for watching. If this video sparked a new way of thinking for you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more insights on building real wealth. We'd love to have you in our community. What's the first asset you're going to start learning about? Let me know in the comments below.